up. Is my microphone working? Yes, it is. Sometimes I forget to check if my microphone's actually working, and that can cause some issues if my microphone's not working. Looks like everything's booted on up. Give me enough moment to turn on my live chat window and my macros. And that should be all good there. Come on now. Hold my window so I can do the macros. Or it's just not working whatsoever. There it goes. You did not want to boot up, buddy. Come on out. There we go. Now I should be able to manipulate the turns with my WASD. That's clearly a sign that you're an RTS player. Either way, let's get started. Just need to do one change here, and there we go. Now let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the north side is the Orange Star Sammy. We have Hudge. Spawn on the bottom right side is the Cobalt. Was it Cobalt Ice? Yeah, Cobalt Ice. I don't know why I had trouble remembering that. We have Quick Slow 87. I guess that's sort of my name right now, Quick Slow. That describes my brain right now. Either way, let's get started. This is a 3-base map. 1 airport, 1 seaport. Primarily just meant to resupply the black boat. Sammy, of course, is the infantry specialist, plus 30% firepower on all of our foot soldiers, and 50% increased capture rate. All other units only lose 10% firepower. It's not terrible. Comm tower just makes it normal, but it's not super bad. Plus movement range for ships. A comparison that would probably help out the black boat just ever so slightly. Probably not really at all, due to the nature of the shorter distance. And of course, Jake is a relatively weird CO in my opinion, plus 10% firepower from attacking from planes, so attacking from planes, you're the more poorer position, will help equalize some things. So it effectively nullifies the effects of the force if attacking from planes, and sort of mitigates the effects on attacking to the nearby city. Of course, there's a decent number of roads nearby, help interrupt that. Early T-copter here. Jake sending his infantry unit up north. Sandy's gone for a tank. Jake already has a tank on the field. And do have another tank and a recon. This map has a lot of roads, make it good for traversing for recons to reconnoiter the area. I like that word, reconnoiter. It's such a fun word. Go ahead and say it. Imagine this Door Explorer. Say reconnoiter 3 times. Either way, I do have a couple tanks now by Sammy as well. Only slight differences like the recon versus T-copter. Another tank by Jake. Sammy's weak side could be populated with a whole bunch of mechs. It is Sammy, though the traversement's not super great, but there should be enough time to load up a couple of mechs with the time it takes to go back and forth. Sorry, I just want to check on something. Yep, the +1 movement range for Sammy does not make a difference whatsoever. Tanks pushing the way forward. Trying to flip back this property. Sammy right now is 16,000 for 16,000, so even. Does interrupt the capture and hits the recon while at it for 1 shot. Very nice there. Infantry did a good job spotting it because it was not spotted until this infantry pushed forward, if I remember correctly. Of course, Jake has some tanks nearby. This one's well out of range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, it's in range. But can at least take this tank here attack from the planes for boosted strike. You know, it's sort of lucky that Sun got 1-shot that recon. She didn't have the comm tower, but it's still a bit of a coin flip if you can take out recon 1 shot. Did take the first attack from the road first. Definitely should have done the planes, in my opinion, first for the boosted firepower and defense. May have would have left this tank at 8, tank at 9 health, or 8 health. Looks like the units up there. Has a tank up here. Some there's a tank nearby, which should be range of this tank. Just needs a bit of a clearing. Yep. Does have 2 infantry units nearby. Of course, this one is not scouted at the moment. Does take a shot there. So yeah, it looks like she can easily do 8 points of damage to that unit. So the 7.1 will go down. Does not get the kill there, but the tank, oops, clicking all the buttons. The tank can at least perhaps try to gamble, go through the forest, hit the tank if she wants the first strike. And with our cast vision, we know that's going to be a good move. This is no tank for retaliation, but decided to play safe, which is probably a good idea. Even though with our cast vision, we know it would have been a better idea to attack, in my opinion. Which is probably incorrect, so you probably should ignore me. 2 infantry units here can at least still be a decent meat shield versus all the infantry, or try to help join capture, but this only has 5 capture progress remaining. He's out that infantry unit twice. This tank, I think, should be able to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, take a strike from the city. That's definitely the best possible course of action. Artillery, battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Takes out that unit there. Try to flip the city in the corner. Summery now has 22,000 income versus 18. Yeah, it's a good strike there. 8 here, just advancing to the forest. Not a bad idea. Her battlecopter heading down south. Oh boy, that not only for reduced firepower versus bonus firepower. That's quite a bit. I think Jake may have rolled a good luck on that. How good was Jake's luck there? Let's see, 49, 59%, so she... Oh! She rolled a bit... Oh wait, that's Look at that, she rolled 4 damage, she rolled abysmal luck. It doesn't even show the at 4 health there. Or at, no, it does, at 6 health, that's what's how much health is remaining. And Jake rolled maximum luck, so... Horrible luck versus great luck. I knew something fell off there. Oh, worst case possible scenario there. Does a couple hits there. Hits the infantry twice and takes out that. Nope, does not leave the tank. Take out the tank there, but it's probably close to around 5% health. Has the guess. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Gets up that wounded unit there. 23,000 versus 19,000 income. Pulls back a 1 health tank to that city. And she has multiple battlecopters heading down south. Battlecopter, infantry, tank, and artillery. Making his way over the left and up north. Tank double infantry leaves 6,900 left for the bank. Sammy does have 22,000, so she can deploy a Neo tank, will be a double base skip, or deploy a bomber and go for a triple base skip. That's probably not going to happen. We do have a mech down south as well. She does have a double time, which does have some limited. It's actually not a bad power, honestly. It's just her superpower is just excellent. Plus the movement range on mechs, it does what, plus 50% firepower? It is quite good. Lots of weights there. Does go for medium tank. More mechs now being put on the field. This T-Copper doesn't get a resupply. It does have a black boat in the region to help, of course, resupply it. Both players like using the wait function, which is better than wait to log. I was trying to say wait logarithmic, but it's been a while since I've done last time anything with a calculator. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, infantry. We now have a Neo tank up north, and mech and infantry. Lots of weights. Both sides amassing a bit of force there. Of course, Jake's superpower, Block Rock, does give all his ground units +2 movement range. His indirects will get +1 range. But Sammy's definitely not really a seal who likes stall games, so she can actually be very cost effective for power in a stall game because allow all of her cost effective infantry sprint across no man's land through the stall game. But she basically won't be able to strike the front line with that. She'll need so many backline tanks for support. In a stall game as well, she'll have trouble capturing projects with her superpower. Double mech, double T-copter. Lots of weight functions, so I'm just moving all the units there, and that's why there's some pause there. You just start seeing some of the units start darkening, saying, "Oh, I decided not to move." Another meme tank, a pair of infantry. More weights. Does get some good hits down there. Drink to my other hand. Sammy does have artillery piece up in this force there, able to provide some power support against these couple infantry here. Jake has most of the forces down south, limited in north. Sammy has a little bit more up north, but once again, most of her forces down south as well. Does get some picks there. Has artillery piece there with a power and or superpower, of course gets +1 indirect range. Sammy's in a very nice placed recon there. It does get struck in range of the anti-air, but out of vision range of the anti-air now. Picks off some outlying units there. Another a Neo tank for Jake. And some more infantry units there. Anti takes out the battlecopter. Block Rock's almost available. This is probably will help Jake break the wall. Wait, I did not see her deploy off stealth. She deploys off stealth. Sammy stealth, time for a searchable strike. And Jake does not have a fighter on the field. Lots of weights. And we immediately got the Block Rock, which should be pretty effective. Plus movement range will allow him to engage everything. Plus his anti-firepower from planes increases to 40%, right? Give one more to pull up on my other screen. What's that pixel? What? Made a middle mouse button to cause... I don't know why I have that image on my tab, but I barely have that image on my tab. Let's see... Jake, yeah, increase the planes bullets to plus 40%. I always forget the exact percentage for some COs. Oof, looks like only one combat is not enough to one-shot some stuff. Battlecraft strike there for a good strike there. Victory March is available, but hard to say what it will be useful. Honestly, a double time probably be best for the mechs, depending on how many stays alive. Does get a good shot on one of the mechs. Does spot the Neo tank and all the battlecopters. Artillery now has some good targets in front of it. I don't think that Block Rock was super great. Answer for 196. Sammy's turns 169. I'm super. Oh, super question. Does Sammy provide? Yeah, foot soldiers get +2 range and increase attack power to +70. So that maybe what she would do just for firepower bonuses. So let's see. We got the full Victory March. So her mechs have serious firepower now. That's an artillery piece. That's sacking a tank. Mech takes up 9 health tank there. Stealth does not take up the battlecopter. I'm sure this 1 health anti-air should be able to finish off. Yes, it does. Battlecopter hits a 2 infantry unit there. Battlecopter takes out the capping infantry. Infantry strikes capping infantry. Mech finish it off. Mech gets a booster strike there on the tank. Mech gets a booster strike onto a tank. Does not finish it off. Neo tank strikes a medium tank. Very good. Mech does take out regular tank. Takes out recon. Hits infantry. Oops. Hits a capping squad that's capping up the comm tower. And 0 captures for Sami Super. I wonder. If she would have struck a tank, we know it does this much. But what if it's just regular power? This did guarantee more kills than some regular tanks, but maybe I'm better just overall do a regular power. Wasn't paying attention to the movement range though. I'm not sure. Battlecopter gets shot down. Hits the mech twice. Hits the mech. Wait, did his mech infantry unit just take... Yeah, it went from full health, to horrible. Somehow the mech won that. Takes out that recon. Trying to flip some properties, but she has an infantry nearby. Shoots at the T-copter. Loses another infantry unit there to the mech on top of the city. I am generally surprised how weak these infantry units are. Her plus firepower is just really retaliating. No fighter just yet. He has 21,000. He has to go for one. This is on the side of a black boat. The black boat can simply refuel the stealth before it moves forward. Battlecopter tank and recon infantry. It looks like he's going to just try to ignore Sami's stealth. But I do think she should, if she's going to take out this unit capture the comm tower, probably use this battlecopter. Neo tank falls back. Stealth strikes medium tank. Does not see this Neo tank there. Good shots there. Mech finish off medium tank. Infantry unit finish off the infantry unit there. Mech strikes tank. Mech strikes tank. Mech strikes tank. Trying to capture up the comm tower. A little bit exposed. Can be hit by 2 infantry units there. Mech finish off the unit there. Stealth does not get resupplied by the black boat. And since you just moved the stealth, the black boat now, and right next to where the stealth was, definitely should have resupplied the stealth, in my opinion, as it has very little supply. It's the battlecopter there, has enough for another block rock. Takes out battlecopter. Double time's not available. Neo tank strikes out another mech. Sort of machine guns the T-copter a little bit there. Twice. More goes left thrice. We do now have a fighter for the field. Stealth right now has 19 fuel. It burns like, what, 9 fuel? Or, I know it's like 7 fuel per turn. So it can strike the Neo tank and then the following turn needs to fall back to the black boat, or pull back the black boat, put the stealth right there, and then strike the infantry unit there. It needs to end its turn next to the black boat. Or get in close proximity. Decides to do that, so you can just resupply it in the next turn. Tank 8th year mech. Good damage turn. No block rock being utilized this turn. Does spot the stealth there, right next to the Neo tank. Fighters are way too far behind, so the stealth can simply just take a shot there on the Neo tank. Next turn. Oops. Keep on hitting right click. And Sam does have a good force up here. A pair of tanks, pair of artillery, and a battlecopter. Tank, infantry, recon, and battlecopter. Stealth is down to 5 fuel. So it has to be resupplied this turn, or else it will be fall out of the sky. Picks off a number of units there. Battlecopter does strike Battlecopter there. 1 health mech, finish off tank there. Resupplies the stealth first, and then strikes the capping infantry squad. Not the Neo tank. I understand, but I also think it's better to just strike the Neo tank, a much higher value target, though she would be sacking a property. Tank mech. Sam's doing a good job doing some battle coppers. I think she should continue doing battle coppers so she can get more infantry on the field. Neo tank takes a strike against the black boat. The black boat took a bit of a beating there, and losing the black boat is important, and stealth is fully surrounded. The highest value target you can strike is this anti-air, but good argument to go for the regular tank. And we do now have a victory march, which that comm tower is going to be captured. So move the battle copter first and then capture it. Wrong choice. Does finish off there. Maybe just want to do a 1-2 punch there either way. Use that infantry unit there. Captures the one with there, 2 health infantry unit there. No other infantry. Pick off this infantry unit. Nope, this infantry unit could go for this city there, so this infantry unit can get a capture. Takes out anti-air 1 shot. The Neo tank will push forward, take out the anti-air, and then free the stealth. That's probably a good idea. Stealth decides not to free itself. Does not know about the fighter just yet. Battlecopter strike Battlecopter. Oh, does find the fighter now. Artillery, or recon. May see a block rock this turn. Oh, we do have the beatdown. We gains +1 indirect range, which will allow him to strike this Neo tank with +20% firepower from planes bonuses. Yeah, probably he's been holding on the power and superpower, just haven't found a good time to pop it. So maybe going for power right now is not a bad idea. Doesn't get any additional ground vehicle movement range, but it can be very nice. This Battlecopter has full superiority over there. Takes on the Neo tank. That's a good idea to take the stealth before her superpower gets off. Before she's getting power charge from losing the stealth. Boost strike there on the stealth, easily one-shotting it. Neo tank can finish off the Neo tank. As a T-copter. Pink Battlecopter infantry. Does strike the Neo tank there. Anti-air strikes artillery. Looks like she's unable to range the fighter. Mech hits the Neo tank. Fighter. Honestly, the fighting field, she could just try ignoring it and just cover the Battlecopter's anti-airs. I think the fighter is a wrong call. Can still go for more infantry, but she has 3,000 funds remaining, so she can go for 2 more infantry. Does. T-copter needs some resupply. Does get trapped there. Battlecopter infantry, tank, and infantry. Does hit that tank twice, but needs it thrice. Does strike it thrice. 20,000 versus 20,000 income at the moment. 121,000 versus 123,000, so they're still pretty even. There's another T-copter, mech, tank. Summery does have both comm towers, so does have a firepower benefit, or greater firepower. Tank, anti-air, infantry. Fighter does hit the Battlecopter. Overall, is pushing units forwards, mech, Battlecopter infantry, and resupplies Battlecopter. This black boat's getting pretty low in fuel. Does strike the artillery. Jake's making good progress up north. Looks like he's just going to ignore the fighter and just trying to go for a large number of captures. Fighter does manage to strike fighter. Didn't realize this one was in range. We have another block rock available. Tries to hit the battlecopter. ATR strikes fighter, taking it out. Interrupts capture. Interrupts capture. Looks like Jake will get his calm power claimed next turn. I also started believing it's getting to the point where Jake needs to park something on top of that HQ, because after all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 infantry unit there on that where his recon's at can sprint over here and do victory march onto that point. Wait, that's 6. Yeah, well, yeah, I forgot to remove the tiles on top of. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the way, do have a block rock now enabled. Boost strike there. Finish off and raise the artillery. Neotank finish off the anti-air. Hits that tank twice. Hits up on the mech there. Large number of units on top of properties help deny the counterattack of the victory march. Does take a recon there. Victory march now available. Something I have to point out as well. Summery only needs to capture 6 properties here to also another victory condition, so that can easily happen one victory march. And I'm assuming the central comm tower does not act as a property there. Yeah, 22,000 for 22,000, so it doesn't count comm towers. But it does count the HQ, so May actually does. Maybe it doesn't count the HQ. Not sure. The comm tower could. I don't know if the comm tower does get counted or not. If it does, Cyber should actually try to capture it. Mech artillery battlecopter. Slowly trying to prep for the victory march. Returning the woods, takes out infantry there who was in range of capturing up this city. Does take out one of the artillery. The other artillery is in range of the Neo tank. It does get hit by the battlecopter. A bit of a clean sweep up north by Jake. Artillery and mech finish off that unit there. Interior takes up the battlecopter. No victory march just yet. Stop those captures entirely, hits the anti-air, or not that great damage. Battlecopter does strike the Neo tank. Battlecopter, mech, and tank. Infantry Neo tank. Mech, tank, and battlecopter. This is the fighter and the anti-air. Helicopter down south. This infantry unit is getting to the good priming spot to sprint over the HQ. And here comes the victory march. This infantry will not be in range of the HQ with its current position. Captures a city there, another city there, third city there, fourth city there. 3 more cities and then she wins. That's a good strikes there. Always have to capture, does spot the artillery. Infantry, artillery, recon, battlecopter. Insert for 142,000 with 25,000 income versus 140 with 17,000 income. So if army battle in the field, Jake has basically a full turn ahead. Oh, Block Rock popped near beginning turn. Does got that mech there. It's the battlecopter, strikes the artillery. New tank strikes mech and trying to flip that property now. Artillery still in range, does strike the other artillery, does get hit by a battlecopter. Trying to flip some properties, strike that mech twice. Infantry double recon. Has 5,000 left in the bank, so maybe I save up. Though then again, he doesn't have too much data income now. Does strike that Neo tank. Neo tank infantry. Does pick off some units. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Does strike that battlecopter, finish off the tank there. Interrupts the capture, and fully stops it. Interrupts that one. So this one will be flipped. Neo tank double infantry. She maybe just going to spam Neo tanks. She has enough income to support one Neo tank return currently, barring some repairs at the moment. Tank anti-air infantry. Battlecopter shows strike the Neo tank there, and that Neo tank is not surrounded, can escape. You have another beatdown available. Tank will strike the regular tank there, but in range of artillery. Same thing with that Neo tank. Hits the infantry twice. Neo tank does strike the regular tank there. Regular tank does strike the artillery. Battlecopter triple infantry. Neo tank does get struck, as well as the Neo tank, but does have the artillery piece in range. This may be a good turn for Block Rock. Anti-airs can strike some battlecopters, though this one will need possible movement range, needs the superpower to get into range. Does have enough for Block Rock now. Or flip some properties now. We also have another Victory March. Strikes that one health artillery piece. And serve 148,000. Sammy starts a return of only 84. So Sammy's lost quite a bit of momentum. She doesn't have enough infantry on the units on the field for a victory march. She does have a handful down here, but she'll need to capture 5 properties to win, and she cannot do that. Rotor tanks to get struck. Does spot the 6 health Neo tank there. Decides to take out some health Rotor tank. Double infantry units there, or infantry, mech, anti-air, and T-copter. Does he got a T-copter down south? Battlecopter, triple infantry. Tank, battlecopter, and mech. Does hit the infantry unit twice. Hits the black boat for some more damage. New tank infantry. Battlecopter, mech, tank, and infantry. It's the regular tank twice. Both Block Rock and Victory March available. And there's not a whole lot of infantry left up here for Victory March. 22,000 versus 21,000. That's probably still needs a little bit of update. Probably 21 at the moment. Yes, it is. Infantry for 185,000 even on the field versus 131. Both players have equal income. Mech, anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. Battlecopter, triple infantry, and we got a victory march, so she may be trying to finish the game. Oh, thank you for the YouTube description. Welcome to the channel. She's probably just trying to get this back in the game, not necessarily finish the game, because right now she's falling pretty severely behind. Unable to capture a single property down south. That's a bit of a problem, and she's completely collapsed up north. Yeah, the more I look at it, it's more like I don't think there's any way to get her back in the game. And sub and resign. As Angrade saying, thank you for watching, on to the next replay. Oops, at one point in time I may have actually in my recording mid that cast, so looks like that one's not being uploaded to YouTube. Oh well, if you give me a moment, I need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. My apologies, I am back. Yep, I think, yeah, the fact that you're having trouble with, like, perhaps placing mechs could cause some issues, to say the least, when saving in fog. Delete this one, and on to this one. Another Jake game. Oh well. Give me a moment to adjust the stream. That should be good. So, let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Gary here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. As well on the south side as Black Hole Jess, we got Dark Rider in Leet Speak. As well on top left side as Orange Star Jake, we got Companion Trapezoid. The companion to the companion cube, I think. So let's go ahead and shoot the pipe scene there, you monster. This map is a 3-base map, one airport, pipe scenes clear out for better traversement, or in this case the airport, a stealth insertion. Though it's pretty easy to knock the black boat with artillery piece, which the artillery piece can also take time to hit pipe scene, so I don't think I've ever seen this pipe scene ever destroyed. Seen this one nearly every single game. This one is actually still situational. It's about 50-50 chance if you see one of these get destroyed. Recon right here. Another recon as well. So it looks like just signed for a bit of a recon rush. Jake has gone for tank. Envision Jess's black boat and does do the same there. Check out, I love Jess in the Fog of War, but there's a lot of planes here. Should be interesting. Generally, I think the planes bonus from Jake, it's okay, nothing super great. He can use it to do a little bit extra better pushing. But I always find the weird thing that's hard for players to play around is those who use his power and super powerful +1 indirect range. Though this map is pretty wide open, so it may not be super easy for that. Not a lot of force for artillery to hide in. But I always find Jake a weird CO. He's a amalgamation of just different aspects. It's like a mix of Cole, mix of Jess, mix of... Let's see. Yeah, Cole is basically for the attack from terrain, and Jess for like the vehicle bonuses. I don't know. I just find Jake a weird CO of all. Sort of weird for me. Tank infantry. Because after all, +10% firepower on attack from planes is basically equal to +10% firepower to versus all vehicles. Though less stipulations and more firepower from battlecopters also in planes. So, to be honest, he's probably one of the most forgettable COs in all Advanced Wars. More forgettable than Davis from Days of Ruin. I think Jake and Cole are probably the least... No. The most forgettable CO is probably Jugger. I don't think I've ever cast a single game with Jugger. Either way, we do got a good core of tanks up north by Jake. Jess is pushing over the left with her tanks there. Hits a couple units there. Jake has no response for any of the armor here. So it looks like both sides exchanging this side to their opponents. Tank, and infantry. Yeah. Too extreme, but flak is a little bit more reliable somehow. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Does get some hits there. 3 tanks here. Jake has rotated good core of tanks over here as well. They're somewhat on equal footings right now. Just goes for artillery pieces. Probably going to be barraging down both the pipe scene and the black boat. The pipe scene is down to 48 health. Takes out the infantry unit there, but this tank is a little bit too far forward. Maybe keep these other tanks in reserve for a counterattack and use this tank as bait. Recon top of the forest there. Does go for a shot there. Hits one of the tanks. Does have more tanks there. Have more reserve. So Jake will win out. Because after all, probably take out the 7 health tank and probably hit a full health tank. Is a pipe scene. And then now leave Jake 2 more full health tanks to work with. So Jake will win out down south at the current rate. Though Jess does have a good number of tanks over here to reinforce. I'm going to use an infantry unit to pick off that one. Yes, she does. Do you have a beatdown available? No artillery piece to use a +1 indirect range. Looks like this game is just going to be filled with tanks. Jake has gone for a battlecopter. Just battlecopters are just not great, but not horrible. They're still usable. They're not like Drake's battlecopter, as opposed to Jake's. Jake. I don't know why I always have trouble getting those two mixed up in as well. Does strike the black boat there. Rotating the tanks back over here. 19,000 versus 19,000, though that made him flip there, so that could be, yep, 18,000. See the 18 there. Good hits. Let's take out some infantries there. Infantry, tank. Set infantry unit twice. Hits the black boat. Tanks starting to pull back up here. A-tier tank. Hits the infantry unit twice. Infantry, battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Right now, Jess has a good number of tanks over here. Jake has a good number of tanks and battlecopters over here. So it looks like both sides are front switching to their opponent's other flank, meaning they're missing each other once again. Let's hit the infantry unit on the mountain. Tank, infantry. We do have a block rock available. Jess almost has enough for overcharge, but her turbocharge or overdrive. Her turbocharge is still pretty good superpower. Beatdown's very situational since it doesn't provide any additional movement range. 137,000 versus 123, 19 versus 18,000 income. There's one despicable neutral property left on the map, right there. Set unit twice. We're obviously trying to set them up. Let's just go ahead and try to weather out the overdrive. Turbocharger may be a bit better, depends if she needs extra firepower. 0 Artie or 8 tier from Jake, all brawling units. 8 tier can be, you can skip out 8 tier if you assume you have a good number of battlecopters, which in this case he does. Jess has 1 battlecopter, and Jake has 4. You said brawling units, that's a single line of units there, as opposed to 3 lights, including a black boat. I don't know why, that just seems sort of nice, just that. With a battlecopter tank. Oh, we got a recon, now got a second line. But like I said, if your opponent doesn't go for too many battlecopters, well, Jess's battlecopters are usable. She still minimizes deployment. But if you just go for a large number of battlecopters, that's one way to counter them. Got some good hits up there, takes out that tank. Catch up some of these properties, maybe use as bait, but there's nothing nearby to take the bait cost effectively. Let's see. I think that's one reason why he went for a recon. He needs a recon to spot because he has no vision where his opponent's battle line is. Though Jake will start catching some properties down south, which is going to be very nice for him. Tank, recon, and infantry. Saving 5,000 fundings. Which right now that means you can start getting out Neo tanks next turn. Takes out the 1 health infantry unit there, pulls back 1 health infantry unit here. And rotating around. Infantry tank ain't here. And start of 161, Jake starts with 151, so still pretty even. Just has an ever so slight advantage. Both these players will have +2 movement range with their superpower, so both of them will reach very far. Artillery, battlecopter, and tank, so we do now have artillery on the field. Pulls back a little bit there, so both players sort of pulled back from no man's land. Try to flip 2 properties, one could be interrupted, this one will be forfeited. Not particularly now since the tank of the way, could have sacked this tank there to get the, not. It's probably good idea not to stop it. As well comes Jake's +2 movement range, only affects ground vehicles. The battlecopters do not get affected by it, but the battlecopters do get affected by the plane's firepower bonuses. Couple hits there, interrupts all across the line, which could be useful for his baits. Pushing forward a little bit more, but can't push too far forward, else he will see the superpower. But with enough units in reserve, she can probably just run a little bit short and then get hit by a severe counterattack. I have a feeling she's going to pop her turbocharged overdrive this turn. Maybe not. She is lacking recons. She does have two in the field. One right there, the other one somewhere. Both are right there, so no recons up north. But for our cast division, we know this is probably a better spot for recons. Actually, she's just doing a front shift again. I swear, this game's been filled with front switches. Takes time to actually shoot the black boat, finally, because we'll start hitting the pipe seam later on. Neo tank to go on the field with the stealth deployment location. Infantry in Neo tank. Infantry, battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Recons, cost not a whole lot. Does going to lose a tank there to the artillery. That's in the auxiliary. Yeah, it's not really the auxiliary, it's on the front line. Those will be extra tile away from the front line, so the second line. Battlecopter, infantry, infantry, infantry. Saves 10,000 funds there. What does this map support again? No black boats, but does support seaplane, or not seaplanes, stealths. Oh, we do have the turbocharge, so it gets plus 1 movement range and increase the firepower from 10% to 20% for ground vehicles. Not to mention just a bit of resupply for everything, which is to top it all off. Takes out 1 tank, hits 2 tanks. ATR takes out battlecopter. Does get plus 1 movement range, so maybe try to do a bit of front switch with that plus 1 movement range. And with a little extra power charge in the next turn, she can get another turbocharge for its 1-2 punch. Battlecopter, ATR, infantry, infantry. Not a great turbocharge, honestly. Picks off these units quite handily, though there could be a counterattack down from these units down south. And there's not much to really stop these units there. A couple battlecopters are just going to reign supreme. Neo tank straightforward. Artillery does take out the pipe seam. Another Neo tank there, and the black boat's down. Or was it the Neo tank that took out the pipe seam? Wasn't paying too close attention. Oh well. Making a counterattack. May deploy a turbocharge this turn. Needs much power charge. She's just going to try to wound everything to soften the counterattack of the blocked rock. Because it's probably going to be a blocked rock next turn. Tank infantry. Now it's going to be for beat down. Full block rock. Battlecopters on the 18 field. Booster strike there. No booster strike there. Booster strike there. No booster strike there. Booster strike there. No boost, or another boost strike there. No boost strike, boost strike, booster strike, boosted strike, and booster strike there. Cleans up all those units there. Jess now has access to another overdrive. But she did take a severe amount of damage there. That's for another Neo tank, infantry. 30,000 income versus 18. And so 220 starts from 151 for day to day, so she's effectively 170, but she's still 50,000 funds behind, so she's pretty far behind. Here comes the overdrive to help equalize the situation. Medium tank straight forward, finish off that tank there, takes out another tank there. Anti-air finish off battlecopter, anti-air finish off battlecopter, anti-air finish off battlecopter. Battlecopter finish off tank, battlecopter finish off tank, tank finish off tank, or gets a good shot into it. Tank onto tank, finish that one off. Gets a good strike there. Takes out the tank, hits the infantry unit there, hits the recon there, hits the infantry unit there, hits the unit infantry trying to capture the lab. Infantry, anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. Insert 168,000, but does manage to inflict quite a bit of damage there. What, 70,000 damage to the last turn? That's quite significant. So she has a slight advantage now. Of course, she has no counter the battlecopters down south. And that's going to be clean sweep in favor of Jake there. He can start sending infantry units down south and start catching up these properties. A lot of stuff just hang on there. This tank could actually head up. Don't think good idea to send Neo tank this way, but we'll be quickly kind of trying to clear everything up in this region. Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 dead battlecopters that last turn. And Jake's flank over here is pretty smashed, though the Neo tank helps stabilize. Just to be careful about the medium tank. Infantry, tank, and battlecopter needs to get some reinforcements over here. Get some infantry units over here. Trade there. Lots of infantry units being picked on off. Got 1 health tank there that gets picked off as well. She can make a medium tank work, but medium tank's honestly a bit more of a defensive tool than an offensive tool due to their slow move speed, but they still can contend against Neo tanks. Neo tanks don't has as high armor as you expect for its value. It has just extra mobility. Another medium tank there. Right now she has 17,000 income, so right now she's having trouble forwarding Neo tanks at the moment. 21,000 for 17,000, so she can forward a medium tank every single turn, barring the fact that she will have to commit a base skip. So Neo tanks is probably the question. Well, Jake, however, if he just has a slight hold over some money to the next turn, he can start chaining out Neo tanks again, which he's been constantly doing. Trying to flip 2 properties. A third one will be on the way next turn. Listen, Neo tanks trying to roll up north. Just probably gonna have a couple tanks down south to keep this area secure. We'll be losing a battlecopter there, but interrupts the capture. Right now, maintaining these properties would be very important due to his income advantage. And Jess will start catching some properties next turn, these 2. Interior, tank, and infantry. Looking to counter, hits the battlecopter, hits that infantry unit there. Strike the infantry unit there. Tank will strike the tank. We have a beat down available. Medium tank is actually in range of the Neo tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just a matter of scouting out and get pathing there. Probably not going to happen. Recon, infantry, and tank. Instead of 184,000, Jake has 154, so he is down by 30,000 or a turn and a half. But does capture a good number of properties there. Now just that's going to have 15,000 income next turn, which is going to stop her from getting on Neo tank to counter. She's going to be struggling. She can get on medium tank. Yeah, she probably will have to do that. Does strike the regular tank there. Neo tank pushes forward in range this medium tank, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With a power, will be in range. It probably would be a good trade. Good strike there. I think she should go for a turbocharge this turn and probably counterattack one of those Neo tanks. One of these medium tanks is in range. This one is not going to be in range. Even with a superpower. Catch some properties this turn as well. 18 versus 20,000. Does go for turbocharge. Recon strikes infantry unit there. Battlecopter strikes Neo tank, softening it up to allow her medium to get a better shot. Red tank does finish off there. Do have a block rock available. A lot of battlecopters and interiors by Jess right there. She does strike the Neo tank as well. Does get a shot into some regular tanks there. Jake does have a good reserve of battlecopters right here. Infantry, anti-air, infantry. 1 flip. Neo tank strikes anti-air. Oh, if he would have done that first, he would have been easy to one-shot that anti-air. Does finish off at least a 3 health tank. Does strike the regular tank there. Battlecopter does not get a strike there. Battlecopter gets a booster strike there. Booster strike there. Infantry units push way forward. Booster strike there. Tank, battlecopter, infantry, and infantry. Anti-airs make a good counterattack. She's been having these anti-airs on point, that's for sure. Neo-tank getting struck multiple times. Medium tank commands get a good strike from Neo-tank as well. She's just making her medium tanks just effective enough to deal these Neo-tanks. Softening up a little bit with the battlecopters and finishing and putting big holes in those Neo-tanks and medium tanks. She's been playing quite well with being a tech disadvantage. Neo-tank infantry. She finally gets out her own Neo-tank. 18,000 income versus 20,000 income. And both players are, or this one did get interrupted, but this comp tower is being interrupted as well. Takes the battlecopter. Anti-air on anti-air, anti-air on anti-air. It's the regular tank there. Neo-tank strikes medium tank. Still got this medium tank in reserve. Another Neo-tank, infantry. It looks like Jess will get both comm towers. That's going to be quite significant. Capture and capture. Not only get a sort of flip, but also capture the comm tower. Now she has +3% firepower global with another +10% off all of her ground vehicles. So this medium tank will pose a serious threat to this Neo tank, more so now. She almost has enough for overdrive as well. I actually pulls back the tank there. Is that a misclick? I mean, it would be a good idea to sack the medium tank to hit the Neo tank, in my opinion. Infantry anti-air tank. Yeah, I'm not sure why she pulled back the medium tank. Makes me a good counter attack up north. Needs to get that comm tower recaptured. Overdrive's not available. Interrupts the capture. Pushes artillery forward. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Anti-air recon infantry. Does take out that door, puts good around that tank. Trying to flip the comm tower and city there. Gets that unit down there. Battlecopter, infantry. Jess right now, after all the repairs, only has 12,000 income to bank. Jake has 100 and serve 116. Jess starts the turn of 120 so she's about 1 turn advantage right now. Try and flip multiple properties. Does go for a turbocharge rather than overdrive. You can finish off recon rather than going straight from the Neo tank. Neo tank strikes the Neo tank. Gets good round onto it. She steals both comm towers, so this is the turn to make some good progress. The extra firepower. Lots of picks right there. She won't keep it though, she's overextending up there. Yep, front switch time. But she's making excellent headway. Insert of 133 versus 84. So Jake's about 2.5 turns behind. Goes for his full block rock. Regular tank strikes the regular tank, hits the infantry unit there. It's the tank there. Neo tank strikes the medium tank, nearly knocking it out. And hits the resign button there. It's angry saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. Let's see now. Oh, those are other stuff. Oh yeah, this next one is a lively game. And I just saw this, I'm like, oh, replay spotlight, and it's of course Meng, so this should be fun. Just give me a moment to adjust the screen. Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the south side is the, I forget what it's called, Teal Galaxy Kindle. We have Charlie underscore. So on the north side is the Fire Red Drake. We got Mings. Of course he's playing Fire Red as Drake. That's, of course, Drake is definitely the English CO with Summoning Rain, and the Fire Red is the English or United Kingdom forces. This is a lively game, I'm going to point that out as well, so keep an eye on the clock, because you never know. This may give indication why someone makes a poor play, because they may be just simply run out of time. This map appears to be a 3-base map, good number of seaports, airports in the corner, airport covered up by your own lander. Additionally, so you can pull off the lander to capture the point, you're going to have to deal with 1 health recon maybe. Additionally, both players do have some missile, which is Meng's natural enemy. For those who don't know the reference, there was a game on a Days of Ruin game where he lost like 10 aircraft to a single missile. And it was not a Fog of War game. I have that replay posted, so if you ever want to try to find it, just go to my channel, search for Meng, so you'll probably find it. It was like a Brenner mirror? Not sure. Can't remember exactly. Maybe it was Tabitha versus Brenner, I can't remember. We do have an early recon deployed on Alt. You may find the missile. Both the missile and the recon have the same spotting range. He does spot the missile there. The missile knows where it's at, or knows where it's not. And do have a nice little flip there. I don't think Meng's 1 health, not Meng's, a Drake 1 health recon put around to it. Does put around to the missile, wounding it, but still has enough health to one-shot battle copters. You have a tank up north, his missiles down south, which I suppose if you get enough traveling there, you could lock down the airport with it, though it'll have no hiding spots and be quite a distance. Got another tank there, infantry, and commits base skip. Both players stockpiling a bit of time. Tank, infantry, infantry. Does strike the recon there. This missile is hidden, but it's not going to accomplish all too much. No aircraft nearby. Though letting it get shot could give you some good power charge. Kindle, of course, does have a very good power, an excellent power with a good superpower. While Drake has mostly known for just superpower, but Tsunami, his power could be occasionally useful if you really want to bleed your opponent's field drive. Just spam that out. It'd just be annoying. It's probably pretty good as well if you have spot your opponent has a stealth. Just start spamming out the power and just drain his field like that. Missile slowly advancing. Anti-air, recon, and infantry. Does get a good hit there. Tank does receive a tank shot. This tank is in range to retaliate. So one thing you can do is move this tank around on the plains or on the road there. Take a shot. Oh, decided to take a shot there. Finish it off. And nope, does not stack the 4 health tank, but pulls it back there to get a good shot there. Medium tank infantry. Both players still stocking a bit of time. They have over 15 minutes each. Battlecopter, artillery, infantry, and recon. Another medium tank there. Medium tank, infantry. So it looks like 2 medium tanks so far. No medium tanks here. Does give it a strike there. Hits that one as well. Pops the Urban Blight, wounding that same unit there among a lot of units there, particularly the medium tank. This medium tank will be left unscathed, but a good number of tanks over here is being blighted. Does give up this capture as well. So that Urban Blight should be particularly nasty. We'll just keep an eye on the refunds that has to be paid for repairs. 21,800 funds. Of course, there's units on top of the next... Wait, no, other way around. You have to worry about fighting from urbanized properties. Tank. And 12,000 looks like about 9,000 funds of repairs. A little over. Pulls back those tanks there. Missile in a position to shoot down the battlecopter. There's also a pipe seam right there blocking the road for some odd reason. Who puts a pipe seam in the middle of the road? It's supposed to be a fun tunnel. Tank, infantry. Answer of 105. Kindle starts turn 119 with 21,000 bank, so she's about 2 turns of value ahead. 18 minutes versus 14 minutes. No strikes on this recon. Does have vision of the medium tank there. Does spot this regular tank there. Has some tanks nearby to take it on. Battlecopter is getting pretty close to the missile range. Both these players' missiles are still alive. This one still existing in this region. Does just straight up take out the battlecopter, not with the missile, but with the anti-air. Does pop the power immediately. I think this missile spotted the battlecopter, so I suppose in a way the missile did take out the battlecopter. Just as a spotter this time. Power's been stunned, it's going to be just bleeding off everything's fuel, just be more annoying. And the mission interrupts a capture. Tank, infantry. Landers on 28 fuel. ETR obstruct the infantry there. I set recon twice. It's the ATR. Infantry, medium tank infantry. Another Urban Blight's available. The 7 missiles, I think, still enough to one-shot battlecopters. Though Drake's battlecopters are particularly not great. Minus 30% firepower with only 1 counter, minus 3%. You'd be surprised how bad Drake battlecopters are after that. So Drake battlecopters should be extremely limited deployment. Recon really wants to rock and order the area. Intern has 18 minutes versus 11, so Kindle has a lot less time than Drake, but still has a very usable amount of time there. It's infantry twice. Medium tank infantry, so she's getting out a good number of medium tanks herself now. So number of properties still despicably neutral, so the city. This airport's not going to be captured anytime soon. You have to pull out a black boat to go up there, and black boats are not in that. 7,500 is not necessarily cheap, but not necessarily expensive either. Though right now, Drake has 33,000. What is he eyeing? We do now have full high society available. High society is a good superpower. It's just that Urban Blight is an excellent power. Neo-tank anti-air infantry. Does pop Urban Blight and strikes the Neo-tank. That's probably going to be hurting. Oh, I just realized something as well. That was a boosted strike from artillery piece onto that medium tank. That was a pretty good hit there. Artillery, recon. Tank infantry. 23,000 versus 24,000. 20 minutes versus 10 minutes. So both players have a good amount of time. Derek has a very good amount of time. He may go for another power just to wound everything, drain everything's fuel. Some of these tanks are starting to get running low on these on the fuel as well. And flip a property. Neo-tank infantry and commit space skip. Medium tank strikes the recon. This one infantry unit has another 3 turns. Now make that 2 turns of capture. So it's actually getting pretty close there. As much as I want to joke as I believe in you, this is a possibility where it can. Probably won't, because there's 2 infantry units nearby. Recon's good vision of everything, or not recon, missile has a good vision of that. Plus, Drake can simply sack the missile there for power charge. Urban Blight can be summoned as well, which can turn this 1 health infantry into a 1% infantry unit. As well, Drake did leave some units next to some cities there, which is not exactly great versus Kindle with her boosted damage. Because of a power, it gets plus 80% firepower from attacking from properties. Battlecopter nukes the missile there. 1 health remaining. It's gunned down there. Got a strike from the missile, or from the column tower, urbanized terrain. We could see a typhoon this turn. It's an infantry unit there, hits a tank. Immediately pops his superpower. He does limit his own vision range as well, so it's not, that aspect's not great. Good shots there. High society's available. Which a high society artillery could one-shot that Neo tank. Because his firepower will be increased by about 200%, minus 20% to health, which is 20%. So we're looking at additional 100%, 160% additional firepower. Neo tank infantry. A high society would be, let's see, plus 25 properties, so it'll be additional 75% firepower. That would guarantee to kill off that Neo tank of high society. Pops an Urban Blight will still get some good damage. Of course, with rain, there's some impediments there. It's primarily vision. Does sack the tank there, tank infantry and Neo tank. Oops, things are getting a little overlapped, didn't they? Sorry, there seemed a little bit of a bug there. Yep, that's not great. Just give me a moment to refresh the tab. Hopefully that'll fix the issue. There we go. There's not a Neo tank there. My apologies. Tank hits the artillery. Tank hits the artillery. Black boat. Infantry. Hits the infantry unit there. Of course, another Urban Blight could be some relatively soon. And he did build a black boat there to start going for this airport. Does get that medium tank. Neo takes at 3 health. She could make it 1% health with a Urban Blight. Yep, Advanced Wars is always fun. Too bad it's not basically the entries that basically stopped. The reboot camp apparently I heard was a little bit more of a failure. It's also the sort of things, well, reboots nowadays just norm. That's where a lot of games are just creatively bankrupt in general. A lot of old IPs just wasting away. A lot of new IPs are just not good. That sort of thing. Looks like Drake does go ahead and pull back in, well, in general. Infantry, Battlecopter. Insert 141. Kindle has 133, so she has a slight advantage when it comes to value, but the biggest thing is 8 minutes versus 20 minutes. She still has to use about a lot of time, so she's not pressured to end her turns, but she doesn't have a whole lot of time there, so she may want to pick up the pace. Does pop Urban Blight there. Good number of units on top of property search. A lot of units get wounded. A lot of tanks primarily. The Neo Tank and Medium Tank doesn't get hit. Reboot camp didn't do great, but I like it, but it should have been much better than it was. Yeah, I actually don't have a Switch, so I never bought it myself. I just have very little reasons to buy a Switch right now. At most, I would probably buy a Switch for Shin Megami Tensei 5. That's really about it. Good shot there. But I have plenty of other computer games, since I'm a PC gamer. I prefer, well, playing, such as RimWorld and Stellaris. New tank gets pulled back there. Can also be boosted repair with a black boat. Infantry, and tank. Yeah, it looks like the Urban Blight may have really whittled down his day-to-day funds there. 124 versus 141, so Kindle has a pretty good advantage at the moment. But this comm tower or airport will be captured relatively soon. I don't know if it'll pay dividends. Drake is not a battlecopter user. In fact, you should really avoid it. So you spend 7,500 funds on getting out a 1,000 income property, so it'll take about 8 turns to recover value. So you gotta be thinking about playing for a real long game if you're trying to capture that property just for income. Infantry, and ends the turn with 9,000 funds in the bank. Does get trapped there. Strikes the infantry there. Artillery, infantry, and infantry with battlecopter. It looks like Drake's about 40,000 funds behind. He does have 3,000 more income, but is still basically 2 turns behind at the moment. Good pop Tsunami, may just save up for a Typhoon. Does not try to drop a infantry unit there on top of the mountain. Does get some good shots there, but gotta be careful with these cities. Don't really be on or next to cities. Pops a superpower. But if Kindle pops an Urban Blight, this medium tank will be down to 4 health. She may be able to finish off and perhaps nuke the Neo tank behind it. Though the tsunami will definitely slow Kindle down. Infantry recon saves 16,000 money. He has also saved 21 minutes, so that counter is going up while this is going down 6 minutes. Well, I've never seen your channel. The algorithm recommended it randomly. Rush over the nostalgia taking over, talking about discipline and persistence. Seems like you have 10 years. Mostly when it comes to my videos, I've only casted Advanced Wars by Web as well as Days of Ruins Tiny Wars recently. But I mostly casted Company Heroes 2. Company Heroes 2 and Grey Goo was my first game that casted. And right now, I'm mostly cast Age of Empires 4, Age of Mythology, Advanced Wars by Web, Days of Ruin. What else is there? Company Heroes 1 and 2. Lots of good games. And thank you for noticing. I got playlists if you have any particular games you want to take a look at. Neo Tank, and Infantry's there, so got a bit of spend there, but still has 9,000 monies in the bank. Still has only 21 minutes versus 6 minutes. Pops the Urban Blight. Does hit a Neo Tank there, as well as Capping Infantry there, another Infantry there, of course the reinforcements, so hits 2 Neo Tanks, which is going to hurt a little bit. Does hit that tank there. Hits some units there. A-tier. Recon tank. No, I only cast. A lot of the games, or pretty much all the games I cast nowadays, I don't actually play multiplayer at the moment. It's sort of become my rule of thumb. When it comes to other games, I tend to be a bit overcritical on balance when casting games I've actually played. I feel like it sort of ruins the quality of the replay casts. Plus, on my off time, I just try to relax. I've been playing some RimWorld again. Yeah. Medium tank infantry and A-tier. Since this my YouTube channel is more close to a hobby, since nothing's monetized, I don't really have to worry about how to put it. It does still consume quite a bit of time, but I still need time just to relax. Because after all, I also have a 40-hour per week job, if that makes any sense. Time management. Let's just simply leave it at that. A little bit of resupply there. You take A-tier, and tank. $165,000, 145,000. So Drake's still a couple turns behind. Has a bit more income now. 4,100, or about 24 versus 25,000. So just me, there's still one despicably neutral property left. Ah, yeah, this airport. Artillery range of entering in it there, but looks like in an out of vision range. We do have a fighter deploy on there. Wait. Why did she go for a fighter? She's fighting against Drake. Drake does not go heavy in aircraft whatsoever. And right now, that fighter's a horrible spend. He has a single battlecopter in the field. It is better to let that battlecopter die than rather contest the fighter with another fighter. That fighter was a horrible call. Is he expecting something? Not log. Not messages. Wrong button. That's this button I'm looking for. Both stealths and black bombs are banned on this map. That fighter's a horrible call. Oh, does pop a superpower there. Seems a horrible call. That's going to be consuming some more resources there. This, oh wait, this lander. Landers, do they consume 2 fuel or 1 fuel per turn? If they consume 2 fuel, then they can't reach harbor. If it consumes 1 fuel, it should be able to reach harbor if he wants to save it. Which, not really important saving it. Urban Blight's not available. That's about the recons there. Yeah, if it's only 1 fuel per turn. I always forget if it's 1 2 fuel or 2 fuel. First one has always been 2 fuel. I'm just mistaken about that. Either way, right now Kindle has 4 minutes to work with, not a whole lot of time. 144,000 in the field versus 138, so she sells her day-to-day income. So she's about to turn ahead. Urban Blight the counter, which it's a bunch of infantry units there. Actually, that Urban Blight's pretty bad. She just has to use it for combat bonuses pretty much. Resupply same string there, but not really important. It had 8, which captured 3 turns, and 9 health, still captured 3 turns. Battlecopter will strike the Neotank with boost strike. Pull back this machine off the city there, get a boost strike onto the anti-air. Join captures, 9 capture progress remaining, so next turn it can be captured. Boost strike there, does not finish off. Ooh, and the Neotank gets trapped by the Recon. But not what's going to be picked off there. And so 152 versus 103. It's hard to say who's going to win this game. Kindle right now has a superior value by a pretty good margin there. Jace saved up money though, so he has a pretty good bank. He has also even bigger bank of time. Kindle is scraping the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, I have no idea how this game's going to go. It can still go either way. Not to mention, you can probably get rid of this right there, and so they're, because that fighter's worthless right now. And so if getting rid of that, they're actually even value at this exact moment. A lot of these battle cards are starting to run low in fuel. The 1 health could probably donate what's little fuel and health to the 7 health wood. Makes some good progress there. Doesn't do it the capture. Goes for a bomber. Okay, somehow this fighter becomes more relevant. Somehow. Yeah, he has vision of this fighter. I don't think it'd be a good idea to go for a bomber when he has vision of a fighter right there. I said that's a bad call. Recon, recon, recon. Ready to reconnoiter the area. Does get trapped there. Goes to the airport, finds the bomber. No, that's somewhat suspicious there. The bomber gets upon the field, immediately the fighter beelines towards the airport. I wonder, was he streaming while playing this? Was this a stream snipe? Sure, it'd be a good spot to send a fighter to camp the airport, but still, that just seems a little bit suspicious there. It has a reasonable explanation of a place to lock down the airport, but it is somewhat suspicious about that. Could be nothing though. Does take out the battlecopter with 2 elf infantry in it there. Maybe it was at 1%. Battleship? Is he resigning? Lander's got sunk. I wasn't really paying attention to see if there's some sort of stream snipe, but that just seems just a little bit suspicious. If somebody wants to take a better look into it, they can more than welcome to. Pops the power. Does go for battleship, does strike right there. I suppose does have a lot of units it can cover, but I don't think the battleship was a good call. This recon does finish off the Neo tank, and he's actually. Oh, I just realized that he's actually capturing the HQ. I forgot the HQs were pretty far forward, so maybe that was a bit of a BM battleship just because he has the game in the bag. That's maybe what happened. Oh, I can't continue forward, so I'm guessing Kindle has resigned, which I can probably just go like this and. A draw? Looks like they called it a draw. Interesting. Either way, this is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see now. I may have missed some stuff, but that just seems a little bit off. Oh well. And this is probably going to be my last replay tonight, so give me a moment to adjust the live stream. Granted, if he wasn't streaming, then that's definitely not a stream snipe. I cast way too much Computer's 1 and there's a lot of hackers in that game. But either way, this seems good to go. Greetings everyone, and great here, another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the north side or the left side as the Jade Sun Jess, we got John Ra Ra Ra. Probably butchered that name well enough. Spelled on the right side as the Blue Moon Grim, we have El Mirlino. Probably butchered that name well enough. This is a 2-base map, so it's going to be more heavy battle copters. Probably a bit more favored towards Grim. Of course, Grim is a CO who likes to have trouble with moving COs, so I think Jess will do quite well versus Grim because of the power and superpower both fighting +1 and +2 range, with of course additional firepower. So this is going to be to be fair, most matchups are bad for Grim, but I think it won't be great for him. Do you have a recon there? Both sides have a comm tower that's free for them. Tank there, infantry unit there. Another tank there. So both sides of the tank. Will Grim send his tank to fight the tank, or will it be sent to this? Just centerwards. It can go north or south, but probably go west rather than east. Artillery and infantry. Yep, I saw I had a Grim match in my games. How I find replays is I just go to the mostly globally, because I think global games tend to be a bit better since they don't have to rely on the pressure aspect and they could be a bit more longer, prolonged. I just start going through like the top 50 players, finding games that may go for a decent length, favorite it, and when they get completed, cast it. Of course, if you guys have any replays for me, just simply send me a link of the replay number, and we'll just simply, and I'll cast it when I have next live stream. That was like a pretty good hit there. Grim shouldn't really probably let that tank be so exposed like that. Grim is a CO you basically have to play on point. You have no walling potential as Grim. You have to punch your opponent in the face, but you can't be taking punch. It may be like the brawler CO in a design as a CO himself, but he is not meant for brawling. This tank will probably be nuked next turn, but it'll be second battlecopter to that, so it's probably not a good trade. Tank the center as well. He won't be able to range this tank there. He'll need to hit this infantry unit twice, and there's nothing nearby to hit it twice. Well, I'll leave that up to you. 1200 is not too terrible, since the starting out level is what, 700 or 700, 800? So 1200 is definitely a good ranking, I'll say. Catching a lot of properties over there. Lots of properties captured. 17,000 for 16,000. Tank will strike tank. So yeah, taking a lot too many free shots there. I think it's a good case of how not to play Grim, honestly. Not be able to strike that anti-air of either of these tanks either to allow the battlecopter free reign. And this anti-air will provide this much coverage, so can't strike the battlecopter here or the infantry unit. Maybe we'll attack this infantry unit there, but that's about it. Battlecopter, tank. ETA does pull back. Paul just has enough coverage to protect all of his forces. Very good. I also keeping well out of range of these tanks. Now, if Grim wants to push forward his battlecopters, hit some of these units there, he will basically to prevent the ATR from going down south. So probably taking out the tank and then perhaps putting a unit on top of the city So his battlecopter is going to strike some targets down south, but we've got another anti-air, but it does have a bit of time before gauge. Let's see, he has 2 tanks to push forward with. He will not be able to strike this tank there. So yeah, he probably may need to tap this tank and then hit and put a tank on top of the city there, and that's basically it. Let the battlecopter finish off the artillery. Overall, I've not been too impressed by Grimm's placement overall so far this game. Knuckle does deploy on the field, giving him even more firepower to work with. He's able to really break through walls now. Battlecopter takes out Battlecopter, that's perfectly fine. Artillery gets knocked out there. Using Trina to strike the tank twice. Does not take it out there. He managed not to take any damage in return, but still can take a shot in return to put it down to 9 and interrupt any captures. 4 tanks there. This Battlecopter is at least out of range of the anti-airs. This one is definitely going down to either one. Oh, we do now the overcharge or turbocharge there. Strikes the tank there. Finish off the tank there. Hits the infantry unit there. Finishes it off with 2 health infantry unit there. Wounds that one. Tank. And resupply. And serve 72,000. Grim starts turn 63. So technically Grim will, with his day-to-day income, will have more value. Does hit that tank twice. Battlecopter push way forward, so that Battlecopter will take a... will probably take a good hit there from the anti-air, what's left of it. After the city there, another Battlecopter. Tank and infantry. 4,000 funds to the bank. Does lose a hit there. Interrupts the capture, hits that tank there. Losing a little bit too many tanks there. Still has a tank perhaps nearby to take out the anti-airs. If he take out the anti-airs, then the Battlecopter is going to reign supreme. That's probably the high priority target for him. Takes out that tank there. So yeah, probably pushing forward this tank to hit this anti-air. Had the 2 elf tank take out this anti-air. Still a good number of tanks up here. Takes out a tank there, hits that infantry unit there. Machine guns down the anti-air there. This Battlecopter strike this tank there. We do have a turbocharge available. And 3rd Battlecopter push away forward in the center. Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. And now got another turbocharge activated. Don't need too much extra firepower to deal with Grim units, but the extra mobility, if she needs a superpower, could be nice. Her superpower should only be viewed as mobility. She probably should be relying more on her power. She doesn't need much more. Knuckle Duster. Grim doesn't really need much more firepower either, so this is going to be a power game. A firepower game. More so. That pun was so horrible, it's somewhat accurate. Hits that tank there, hits this tank there. This infantry unit should probably get on top of that force there. Does to save the anti-air, the battlecopters from this anti-air. Though right now, this anti-air can simply go all the way around and strike this Battlecopter, even without the power. Tank, Battlecopter, infantry. Decides to go straight through the line there. Interrupts the capture. 70,000 for 16,000 income. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. While just as Battlecopters do has 10% less firepower, does a combat make it 0%, but against Grim, with minus 20% defense, doesn't really matter. Interrupts the capture again. Stops that capture. Hits the anti-air. Takes on the anti-air, takes out the tank. Machine guns that tank a little bit there. Another Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. I would better go for tank right there, honestly, but maybe once it's an infantry unit up north. Capturing the last despicable neutral property. Battlecopter goes down. Battlecopter infantry. It's the anti-air twice, hits that units there. And there's no more anti-air left in the field, so Jess is starting to take some pretty big losses right now. She has a good number of battlecopters for herself though. Grim goes to anti-air. Pops the turbocharge, which will not affect their battlecopters, at least without the natural +10/+10. Anti-air tank. And his turn, very short turn there. 13 units for 16 units. Interrupts the capture. T-copter. Maybe he's going to try to go for HQ capture. Grim is doing very well, but that can easily change with a couple bad plays. Does pick up a tank there. Since his units just disintegrate pretty quickly, it can easily change very quickly. 79,000 versus 86, so Grim has about 1 turn advantage. Meteor takes up the battlecopter. But of course, that means he will lose his property. T-copter moved over there, capture this property, though that can be interrupted by Meteor and or battlecopter. But that could be good bait for the tanks and battlecopters to counterattack. Oh, immediately pops the turbocharge at the start of her turn. Meteor go for the battlecopter. This tank is actually out of range. Grim sort of lack proper escort down south. He tries to capture there. Grim can take out the battlecopter with his own battlecopter, but the Meteor is going to reign supreme. Takes out those units there. Tank, battlecopter, infantry. Pops the full haymaker. That puts firepower up to what? Like plus 80%, right? Increase all units attack power to 80%. Will not one-shot that unit there. Battlecopter take out battlecopter. Capture some property there. T-copter can probably get right there to sprawl the property captures. Probably a good idea. Nope, want to save the T-copter. Tank is out of range, even against the black boat. Battlecopter. Another tank. And infantry. Anti goes for the battlecopter, so this property will be flipped. It's that tank there. It's that tank up there. Yeah, Grim's taking a lot of free hits there. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Grim's value leads about a half turn advantage. There's nothing too significant anymore. Battlecopter, anti-air, and infantry. Stop that unit down south. That proc does get captured. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Good shot there on that tank. Of course, this battlecopter will be going down to this battlecopter. Does have more battlecopters reserved. Infantry, infantry. Good hit there on the battlecopter. Tanks out of range of the anti-air though. And they've got more tanks. Yeah, right now Jess feels like she's starting to steamroll. She has 5 tanks, 5 battlecopters versus 4 battlecopters, 4 tanks. Does pick up a tank there, but the battlecopter is going to cause some issues. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Does pop the turbocharge. Strikes that tank there and does take it out, or does not. Takes out that tank there. Another battlecopter is still in range of another tank. Anti-air take out infantry there. Tank will strike the tank. Grim's taking some severe losses this turn. Everything's being struck. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Pops the knuckle duster. Will one-shot that battlecopter. Battlecopter strike tank there. It's a lot of good targets there. Good enough battle copters going down for just resupplies that tank there. Hits that tank there for a good amount of damage. Tank. Here's another battlecopter down south. Lose another battlecopter gets struck. Anti-air gets knocked out there. Tank infantry and another battlecopter. Nearly lost that tank there. Anti-air, tank. Battlecopter up north. Good strike there on that tank. T-copter pushing infantry up north. Interrupts this capture down south. But this with power, that battlecopter could go down. If not, just any of the anti-air down south would basically get a trap there. Since anti-airs and battlecopters the same movement range, it could easily be trapped. Battlecopter can't escape this way. It can try running up north, but looks like, yeah, that battlecopter will be going down next turn, regardless where it moves. Got trapped by this infantry unit, as well as this anti-air. Takes out that infantry unit one hit. Takes out that battlecopter there. Takes out that battlecopter there. True. He is considered bottom-rated tier CO. And you have to be incredibly skilled to use Grim. Simply you have to avoid taking any hits. And then just get the and you have the first strike stun. You have no mobility bonuses, you know, to do that. Oh, and the game appears to be over. Let's see. Yep, looks like Grim did in fact went ahead and surrender. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight. So everyone, thank you for watching, have a good evening.